USC women's basketball plays against the UCLA Bruins. We're live here at the Galen Center.
An atmospheric river brings major rainfall, floods, and mudslides to California. What you need to know to stay safe.
Women's sports are on fire right now. We take a look at what's behind the surge.
Tonight, USC women's basketball faces its toughest competition yet in a Crosstown showdown against UCLA. We take you behind the rise in women's sports. Hi, I'm Clarissa Cuenca.
And I'm Dylan Luden. But first, the powerful storm bringing heavy rain and flooding to California. Everything you need to know to stay safe. You're looking live at soggy Tommy Trojan in SC Village, where students, faculty, and staff are braving the rain. Heavy rain in burn areas has led to evacuation orders and warnings. Courage Escameda's home was spared from the Eaton fire in Altadena, but now his home is under threat once again from possible mudslides. Escameda chose to ignore the county's evacuation warning. He's using sandbags, tarps, and wooden boards to protect his home. He's still optimistic about the future of his community.
If I left, for instance, this would kind of be the third time I've left. I would leave my house to fate when I almost lost it twice already. Well, first time was with the fires. My house miraculously survived when almost every house around me was destroyed, aside from 14 houses that are surrounding my house. So there was like a little bubble of houses that survived around mine. As we're scattered to the winds right now, we're the most amazing community in the world, and I don't say that lightly. I've lived in 13 places in LA the last 10 years. Altadena is something special. I have no idea what's going to be effective or not. I guess I'm ready to leave. I'm hoping I'll make the call at the right time if I decide to leave, and I realize like I have done everything I can.
For more information on evacuation updates, you can visit the LA County website at lacounty.gov/emergency.
An atmospheric river is impacting all of California. Last month's fires make the potential risk for Southern California far greater. Geologists characterize atmospheric rivers as storms that happen when a mix of warm and cold air blowing along the ocean surface collects moisture. This moisture flows through narrow atmospheric pathways. Although Los Angeles has been impacted by similar storms in the past, the concern now is about the toxic runoff from the recent fires.
In these thousands of structures that have burned, all of the materials inside them, upholstery, fabrics, petroleum-based substances burning into ash, that is going to get into rivers and creeks. Then they're going to be affecting all of the habitat that is part of the rivers and creeks as it makes its way down.
Looking at rain totals now, in the past 6 hours in the USC area, we've seen nearly 3/4 of an inch. In the last 24 hours, USC has received slightly more than an inch of rain. The National Weather Services predicts sunny skies will return by Friday afternoon.
Heavy rain has closed roads in burned areas of LA and created plenty of headaches for drivers. A flood advisory is in effect until 10 p.m. Streets with poor drainage are especially vulnerable to flooding. Here's what drivers should keep in mind to avoid accidents.
When there are mudslides and different hazards, roads will be closed, so you want to make sure that you are paying attention to that. You also want to make sure that before you leave your house, you're checking your windshield wipers, that you're checking your tires as well to make sure that they're properly inflated and that there is good tread. All that stuff will keep you safe during wet weather conditions on the road.
Some rain safety tips to keep in mind include making sure car lights are working properly, avoiding crossing flooded areas, and keeping at least 100 feet away from down power lines.
LA crews have been cleaning out storm drains and setting up concrete barriers throughout the county. They're trying to protect communities from mudslides and flooding, especially in burn areas like the Palisades.
The kind of simplest way is to put a tarp over a piece of land that you think is unstable because of the slope or because of the soil. I think we deal with a lot of very complicated environmental issues here in Los Angeles, and it can be very easy, whether you're in LA or another place, to forget that.
Sandbags are available at all Los Angeles Fire Department stations to help keep the water away from homes and businesses. Residents should also secure loose outdoor items that could be carried away in the storm.
Women's sports are drawing enthusiastic crowds. Reporter Vincent DeMonte is live at the Galen Center, where fans have lined up for the USC versus UCLA women's basketball game.
Yep, that is right, Dylan. You know, it's a little wet over here. It was raining a little bit earlier here on Figueroa Street, but guys, I think there might be another storm brewing according to the forecast. It's Cardinal and Gold, and its name is Juju Watkins. That is right. We are here live at the Galen Center, where the women of Troy are playing against our crosstown rival UCLA in a matchup that is sure to be one for the ages. You know, women's sports has truly taken the forefront, and this is just another perfect example. Earlier, a couple hours ago, we saw students lining up in the pouring rain. I mean, we saw umbrellas, plenty of Cardinal and Gold, and even some brave souls who decided to not even wear a jacket out here. I mean, talk about commitment to the Trojan family, am I right? Fight on. But as we head on over to talking about women's sports themselves have really seen an important increase in growth in viewership over the past few years. I mean, the WNBA alone saw 1.2 million more viewers in the past 2024 regular season. And experts are saying that close to $1.6 billion are going to be invested in women's sports over the next 3 years. We spoke to some USC students earlier about why they feel women's sports is important and what they are hoping to see from with the women of Troy.
To see it rapidly grow in the last couple of years has been amazing. This building is sold out tonight, so it's great to see our girls come out and support them for that biggest upset in UCLA's history, so let's go.
I think it started with Caitlin Clark, obviously, and then Juju's taking it to another level. Just like the energy and excitement that these girls play with, and it's just fun to watch.
Yeah, we don't talk about that other team. We're here to support our girls, and that's all that matters, rain or shine.
I mean, it feels amazing. I mean, there's no better feeling in the world than supporting the Trojans, and hopefully we'll go kick some butt tonight.
Well, guys, the game starts at 7 p.m. here, and I think there's still a few seats left, so make sure to grab your umbrella, grab those rain boots, and come run on down to the Galen Center. I know I, for one, will grab some popcorn, get these wet socks off, and kick back my feet to watch the women of Troy defeat the UCLA Bruins. Well, reporting live from the Galen Center for Annenberg Media, I'm Vincent DeMonte.
For more on tonight's crosstown rivalry, let's check in with sport reporter Liam Irvin, who is here with us in the studio.
Thank you, Clarissa. While the fans gather outside the Galen Center, the Crosstown Showdown is heating up. Let's take a look at the two superstars in tonight's matchup. The Juju juggernaut is heading for Galen Center. Although last year's unanimous first-team All-American has been in a bit of a slump, her stats are still incredible. Nearly 24 points per game, more than 6 rebounds, and more than 3 assists. Now, for the blue and gold, Lauren Betts is arguably the best player in the country. The 6'7" center averages a near double-double with almost 20 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, and 3 assists. The stakes are high in the top 10 showdown between the Trojans and Bruins, and so are the betting odds. UCLA is the favorite, but not by much. Just a 1.5-point advantage with a combined total of 140 points. Fox Sports predicts a home victory for USC, giving the Bruins their first loss of the season. Final score, 70-69. Let's take a look at why UCLA is favored. Led by head coach Corey Close, the Bruins move the ball so well. Take a look at this pass right here from Kiki Rice, and then moving the ball inside out through center, Lauren Betts. We mentioned her earlier. Expect to see a lot of this tonight. To the Trojans, it's not just a Juju show. Kiki Iriafen coming off a 24-point, 13-rebound game. They work the ball so well inside to her, and then that's Juju right there going coast to coast for the layup and the foul. Lindsay Gottlieb and company had this to say about tonight's matchup.
I think it's excitement. I don't think it's weight. It's just a great opportunity. I think it's great for LA. They've had a tremendous season thus far. Can't say enough positive things about how they're playing and how they've played all year. But our players haven't looked for anything to be easy. Understanding it's getting closer to March. This is a huge game. This is kind of like a baby March Madness game for us as well. And UCLA is undefeated. We have a lot on the line. We're trying to defend our home court. So I think it's just making sure in practice, we're making everything very game-like, not taking any reps off or being lazy about anything.
Well, those are the thoughts of the Trojans T-minus 1 hour until tip-off. Dylan, I'll start with you. How do you see the deep-rooted traditions of either squad playing into this intense women's basketball showdown? And more importantly, who do you see coming out on top?
Well, look, in my opinion, I think this is the best women's basketball game, not just for both these teams. I think for the whole women's basketball of the sport this season. This is the most anticipated matchup right now in women's basketball. And I think USC will come out on top just because of the home court advantage they have in Galen Center. They draw out so much crowd. Same thing as last year as well when Juju came in. I think it's going to be a win for USC tonight.
Clarissa, what do you have?
I'm hoping our Trojans can fight on and lead us to victory.
That's the right attitude. For me, I'm going to go with 3 quick points. I think turnovers are a huge issue for either squad. Most turnovers on the season, last game for USC against Ohio State. They also had the most rebounds of the season, 64. They have to box out positions 1 through 5. A tall squad. We talked about Dets. We talked about Kiki Rice. This is a talented program in UCLA. Despite the fact that they are a rivalry game, they are very talented. They're the #1 ranked team in the country for a reason.
Thanks, Liam. The game starts in less than an hour and has been sold out for a few weeks now. Whoever wins is sure to be a favorite to win this year's national championship.
A new executive order stops trans women from competing in women's sports. An expert helps contextualize the ban.
Nike aired its first Super Bowl ad in nearly 30 years. USC students shared their thoughts about the women athletes highlighted. And a women's basketball icon breaks down the recent growth of female sport.
Now your child can visit steamy jungles, grassy plains, and the dark depths of the oceans to meet and learn surprising facts about the magnificent animals that live there, all through the captivating, colorful pages of Zoo Books. The publication is specially created for young readers. Each monthly issue of Zoo Books is packed with breathtaking full-color photos and scientifically accurate illustrations, plus games and puzzles. Today, through this exclusive TV offer, you can get 12 fascinating issues of Zoo Books for the special price of $19.95. When you call and use your credit card, we'll include the Elephants issue as a gift. Plus, you'll also get the colorful collection of animal stickers and the tiger poster. So order Zoo Books today and send learning and fun to a child you love.
To order 12 fascinating issues of Zoo Books for $19.95, call 1-800-441-2400. When you call, we'll include the bonus elephant issue, stickers, and tiger poster with your order. Call 1-800-441-2400. You must be 18 years or older to call.
Have you ever wanted to develop your artistic abilities? If so, you may already have the interest and desire needed to become a serious art student. To find out, simply call toll-free, and Art Instruction Schools will send you this enjoyable art test. Since 1914, we've helped thousands of aspiring artists become more skilled, more confident, and more creative in their art. Call today for your free art test. We'll help you become a better artist.
Whatever you do, you can't win. So win.
Nike's brand new all-female ad aired during last weekend's Super Bowl. The commercial was a celebration of women's sports and featured icon female athletes from Caitlin Clark to Juju Watkins.
They're kind of drawing the attention to women's sports and their achievements and putting that spotlight on them, I think, is a great point to make in our society.
I'm glad that women are getting more representation in sports media. I think I don't think Nike in particular really gives a shit about women, but I think they're capitalizing on the moment.
I think it's a great testament that women have the capabilities to succeed and win, and also empowering other people who aren't athletes or renowned celebrities to do the same as them.
The Nike ad wasn't the only commercial to uplift women's sports. The NFL promoted girls' flag football for the 50th anniversary of the Title IX Education Amendment.
President Donald Trump signed an executive order that explicitly outlaws transgender women and girls from competing in female sports. Called No Men in Women's Sports, the order also prevents trans students from using women's sports facilities. It removes Title IX protections that have been in place since 2016 and is the fourth executive order targeting the trans community in the last 3 weeks.
The targeting of trans athletes and trans bodies more generally is framed and sort of put forward as if it's an attack and an assault on young girls, as if young trans girls are also not young girls, or that it's seen as a threat to women's sports, disregarding the fact that trans women are also women inside of that.
According to the NCAA president, out of 500,000 student athletes, less than a dozen are transgender.
Fans and athletes just celebrated the 39th National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Reporter Hayes Flanagan talked to athletes about what this day means to them.
Female sports is not just a moment, but a movement. This year, National Women in Sports Day focused on the ongoing push for equality and opportunity. With more attention than ever, women athletes are at the forefront of the conversation.
There's so much opportunity. Think of it like a whole new industry is being built in America. It's not just like a startup company, it's a startup industry. So there's so many ways to add value. And if you love it enough, you'll find a way to make yourself a role.
And in 2023, Eddie made herself a role on Angel City FC. The former USC alum is a part of a larger movement of increasing viewership on women's sports. And in 2024, there were strides. The WNBA surged in viewership, and the NWSL made headlines when Angel City FC became the most valuable women's professional team. This year brings a new challenge, one female athletes are ready for.
For me personally, I think that being a women's soccer player, I don't want it to be seen as charity. I don't want it to be seen as a subset of sport. I want it to be a culture driver, a money driver, a revenue driver, a component of society that people are really proud of.
And the city of Los Angeles is proud of Angel City. The NWSL team has the second highest average home attendance in the league. This is expected to increase as the sport continues to grow every year.
These women are literally trailblazing what their league's going to be. So it's interesting to hear that, beyond just playing their sport, they really have to think about the business behind it, about where it's going to be in the next 5 to 10 years, and they're taking action to improve that for everyone that's coming after them.
And passing it on is at the heart of women's sports. On National Women in Sports Day, women united to uplift one another and inspired the next generation of women in sports. For Annenberg Media, I'm Hayes Flanagan.
Cheryl Miller is a USC women's basketball legend and is teaching a class on campus this semester. Annenberg Media's Curran Rastogi sat down with her ahead of tonight's matchup.
I just wanted to ask, how does it feel? You were taking classes at school. Now you're going to class, but as a professor, how does that feel?
How does it figure? How do you figure? I never saw myself in this position, and there was a lot of apprehension of me even accepting this position. But I'm glad I did. It's been fun. I went from obviously, being a participant and being here as a former player. And there was a time where I coached here as well. So it's been nice to come back. And Lindsay Gottlieb has welcomed not just myself, but all my former teammates and former players to be a part of the program. And it's been nice being a mentor.
So, they have a huge game on Thursday, right?
Huge.
So, talk to me. Put your coaching hat on a little. What is, if you're Coach Gottlieb, what are you telling the team?
I'm trying to make sure that emotionally and mentally we're centered. We don't want, I don't want my players too high or too low, just somewhere in the middle. We can't just come out with the attitude, it's just another game. No, it's not. You're playing the #1 team in the nation. It's our rival, our cross-time rival, and they're playing extremely well. 13 straight weeks #1. And UCLA, these Bruins know that they are the best team right now. They're the team to beat. So not saying that we have to play a perfect game, but dang close.
To see the full conversation with the 3-time National Player of the Year, check out Annenberg Media's YouTube channel.
Thanks for watching See It Live. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Clarissa Cuenca.
And I'm Dylan Luden. For more coverage, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Dylan, are you planning to go to the game later?